This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which is recorded live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Radio Show is being brought to you by The Barbecue Guru, the original creators of automatic temperature control devices, now offering 4 different models for you to choose from. Rest easy knowing that The Barbecue Guru is controlling your pit temperature so you can get on with your life. Visit bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU for more information. And by Fred's Music and Tasty Licks BBQ Supply, your online barbecue and grilling superstore. From cookers to grills, wood chips and chunks, and everything in between. Also be sure to try the Tasty Licks barbecue brand of rubs and sauces. Check Fred out online at tastylicksbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Located in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, Stephen DeFranco Jewelers is a family-owned and operated business looking to service the great folks of the barbecue and grilling world. Get free shipping and big discounts by mentioning my name and the term Barbecue Brother. Check out their inventory by visiting StephenDeFranco.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, with 30 years of experience in retail, wholesale, meat markets, food service, and customer service. Using that experience, everything they do and sell at Butcher's Barbecue comes from real-world knowledge. Check out their award-winning spices, sauces, marinades, and injections by visiting ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. And by Green Mountain Grills. Discover something you'll really, really love. Grilling with pellets. Green Mountain pellet grills are the top of the line, best of the best, but not the highest in price. And be sure to check out all of their flavor rubs, sauces, and pellets for the Green Mountain Grill, all on their website. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to peruse the entire products portfolio. And by Barbecuer's Delight Wood Pellets. 2/3 oak, 1/3 flavor wood, giving you that perfect combination of BTU burn and sweet, succulent smoke you're looking to get all over your meat. A wide variety of flavors, so please go to the website to check it out and get yours today. Barbecuer's Delight, which is bbqrsdelight.com.
Hi, this is Larry Wolf of Wolf Rub Barbecue Seasonings, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Yeah, this is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. Recently, like a couple weeks ago, proclamated as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday for the outdoor live fire cooking extravaganza that takes place. 2 ways to get in touch with the show if you want to do it. Toll-free call-in, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show at any point if you would like. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Make a note of that particular email address for just a little bit later as we move on to what's happening here on the show. Everything else that you want to know, find out, revel in about the show can be found at the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Here's what's happening on the show tonight in case you didn't go ahead and take advantage of that newsletter that comes out each and every Tuesday between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which you can sign up for at the website. Very easy to do. Right there at the top right-hand side of the navigation. Pop in an email address, hit enter, and you are now signed up. You're one of the very few select people taking advantage of it right now. And when I say select, I mean like 700 people subscribing to that newsletter right now. So very tight-knit group, if you will. 14 past the hour. He's a regular contributor to the show. He has his own cooking show on the internets. He has his own cooking show on the televisions. He has his own cookbooks a grilling book, too, by the way, so we know he's there. Been on the show a number of times. Sam, the cooking guy, will join us. A lot of topics to hit, mostly including some Thanksgiving leftover stuff. Got any Thanksgiving leftovers? Be honest. Hey, Gary Lanton in the chat room. Tom Dickey from Texas is in, too. What's up? Gents, thanks for joining me. 35 past the hour. It was going to be the smoking guitar player, Fred Bernardo. His mom's sick, so she's in the hospital. He has decided to be a good son, and instead of doing the show, be by her side, of course. So we're open for 35 past the hour. That just came in the last 15, 20 minutes. Then we moved to the second hour, 10:14. First-timer to the show, Noah Glanville from Pit Barrel Cookers will be joining us. And then helping me close out the show, coming out of that proverbial bullpen, a monthly contributor to the show, the sauce and rub expert. He has been designated. Scott Roberts from scottrobertsweb.com. We're going to be talking about some new sauces and rubs that he has tried. And there you go. That's what's happening again. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. 877-448-0433. Those are the two ways to get in touch with the show. Do me a favor right now. Blast off an email or make a Facebook post or tweet out that you are watching the show right here, right now. If you know people or only have audio access, send them to the regular website, thebbqcentralshow.com. It's listed right there down at the bottom. Or if you know they want to watch video, they want to see this mysteriously handsome, and by handsome, I mean ugly face, outdoorcookingchannel.com. Do it. Help the show. Get a little live listeners in there. Help crash the audio server and the video server that Kevin has for everybody to enjoy out there at the outdoorcookingchannel.com. All right, let me recap from last week. Stephen DeFranco from Stephen DeFranco Jewelers was in all show in studio, and somehow we were talking about, and I don't even know what the hell it was, but it has something to do with Guy Fieri, or, as people who say his last name right, Guy Fieri. That turned into him saying, like, should dye my hair blonde and the goatee, which you can't really tell because I have shaved one in for growth over the next couple weeks. But that I should dye my hair blonde and my goatee blonde and do like a Guy Fieri type imitation, like looking wise. I can't imitate him per se, but I can try and look like him, but real straight up hair dye job. I mean, I don't know. That's weird, right? That's probably weird. I denied. I said, no way. It's hard enough for me to get laid at home already. Why make it harder for your boy? And then he brought out the big lumber, and he said, why don't we do it for charity? Charity? Yeah, we're going to have to donate to the sex charity. That's right. Dye my hair blonde. But so, we were talking over, if you didn't catch the replay of last show, go back to the archives and see how it all transpires. And he's like, do it for like $800 or $900. I was like, bro, if I am going to intentionally make me look even more grotesque than I already do, we're talking a sizable chunk of change, and I am going to be the one that picks the charity to donate to. So we were throwing numbers back and forth, and I summarily came up with a round number of $5,000. So you know me, right? I'm like, hey, lofty goal, and a lot of people are going to say, hey, I'm going to step up. I thought, you know what? I want to raise money for charity for sure. I don't really want to do the hair, so I thought, 5,000 is probably right around that tipping point where, and it holds true to the fact that you have to hit $5,000. We have to hit $5,000 in order to have me do the makeover on my face. And needless to say, after a week, for the majority of this past week, I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then today hit. Stephen DeFranco is in with a $500 donation. $500. It's kind of scary right off the bat. David Qualls, Great American Barbecue Team, I believe, $100 donation. Meat Rake, $100 donation. I'm no mathematician, but we're at $700 right now. Scotty Johnson, receiver, donates $500. Now we're up to $1,200. I want to race over to my PayPal account because there was a few other donations, and I want to say it was, man, I got to do it right. I'm gonna go to PayPal because I want to make sure that we're giving credit where credit is due, because this is kind of a big deal, like for everybody involved. Let me type in my password here because it's my great looks. Oh, the guy who had to go tend to his sick mother, unfortunately, Fred Bernardo, in for $100. So now we're quickly at $1,300. Adelito, Dave Baldine from Wired Barbecue in for 25 bones. So that's $1,325. And Jason King in for 50 U.S. bones, bringing the grand total to $1,375. So you thought to yourself, well, $1,375, pretty impressive. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But, given that the fact that the deadline was the 23rd, what do you think? Is it possibly going to happen? And then this happened. Coming in about 2 hours ago, Doug Caston. Maybe you've heard of them. Smoker's Purgatory. One large. For those that don't speak gangster roll, that's $1,000. So I'm no mathematician, but I'm here to tell you that we are almost halfway in a week to me looking like a complete doofus for charity. Now, let me ask you this, or let me tell you this, and I have to send Doug an email. You would recall that part of Steven's challenge when we were talking about all of this is that he said the first person to donate money that had a comma in it gets that watch of equivalent value, an Accutron watch, for $1,000 in retail worth. So Doug gets that. Doug, be on the lookout for that. I'm going to get in touch with you, put you in touch with Steven. And needless to say, we are off and running. So here's the PayPal address if you want to take advantage. It's this show email address, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. That's PayPal secure. I would rather you not send me bags of cash, if at all possible. PayPal is like the easiest way for me to, I won't say launder money, but for me to be able to amass it in one area, I can show proof to everybody, and then, boom, I can kick it over. And you, oh, hold on. Got to kiss the baby goodnight. All proceeds, cancersuckschicago.com. So that's where it's going. Scotty, be on the lookout, brother. We're almost halfway there, if you can believe it. All right, Sam Zion coming up next. Tasty Licks Barbecue, folks. We were going to have him on, and if I've told you once, I've told you 7,000 times. If you have to go online and find something for your barbecue or grill, or maybe you're looking for a barbecue or grill, and you don't have a shop that's near you, and you want to be able to feel confident when you're buying something, I'm here to tell you, rest assured when you're shopping with Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply. Why is that? Everything that you see on the website stocked in the store. Where's the store? Tropical, beautiful Shillington, Pennsylvania, kind of Philly. But he's got a huge online presence. He's got the brick and mortar store, so if you're ever in Shillington, you can obviously stop in and say hi to the gang. But feel confident. I'm not going to have somebody partner with me that is out here to screw the proverbial consuming public. That's not how I bring sponsors onto the show. I got to believe in it. I have to have shopped with them. I have had to have 1 and 20 and 30 good experience with them. And Fred hits the mark each and every time. You can feel confident when you go to TastyLicksBBQ.com, whether you're looking for grills or smokers or ceramic cookers, electric cookers, various charcoal types, wood chunks, chips, cookbooks, accessories. I said it before. I said if they don't have it, you don't need it. And they carry a lot of other show sponsors as well, so you're doing this 2 for 1. You go to tastylicksbbq.com. You check out with whatever you want. It ships you promptly because, again, they do have it in stock. It's fairly priced, but you're going to get what you want. And if you need help with it after the sale, come on. You kidding me? Drop Fred an email. Drop Fred a call. It's all on his website. You get that help after the sale. Look, between you and me, sometimes I like to think I can put stuff together. I'm not very handy. So the help after the sale part, crucial to me. And don't lie to yourself like I know you want it. I know it's crucial to you as well. TastyLicksBBQ.com. Also, their own lines of rubs and sauces. You got to try them out. TastyLicksBBQ.com. We're coming back with Sam, the cooking guy. Right after this, stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
All right, come on now, everybody. It's a Tuesday. Everybody get up. I'm going to start doing your dance. This is like a hot song, I guess. All the kids are playing it. This is a hot song, right? Gangnam Style. Everybody loves this song. Help me with my drive to 5,000, ladies and gentlemen. Drive to 5. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. That's the PayPal address. It's Gangnam Style. We're going to do the Gangnam Style. Yeah. What's this? Pudding shot. Pudding shot for me. Because I'm going to do the Gangnam Style. Here we go. This is the best part of the song from what the kids tell me. Here we go. We're going to go, hey, 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 hey.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Is this right? Is this how they do it? Usually naked. Hey, hold on a sec. I want no nakedness. I don't think I want to do that. But trust me, nobody wants to see me naked. Well, none of these people do. I can tell that. I know that for sure. I know that for sure. All right. We're having fun doing the Gangnam Style right now. My first guest hosts a very popular online cooking show called the Sam Livecast. You can see it every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. TheSamLivecast.com is a place to go on the internets for that. Written a number of cookbooks, done TV as well. Let's go ahead and race over the proverbial hotlines and welcome back Sam, the cooking guy, as we get into the newsroom here. Sam, how are you, buddy?
What's up? How you doing, Greg? I'm good.
Man, I'm living the good life. How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was,
Sounds like you're going to have to come clean about something all of a sudden.
What can I tell you? Look, here's the deal with the Thanksgiving I go to.
All right.
It's family. I love everybody there. But the turkey is always the same turkey in that it's purchased from presumably a pretty popular place here in San Diego. It's a big turkey smokehouse.
So it's a smoked turkey.
And I don't like a smoked turkey.
At all?
I mean, I'm okay with some of the dark meat, but I think this place, to me, the turkey breast is dry as toast.
Oh,
I don't want that. I don't care what you do. You can grill it, you can deep fry a turkey, you can smoke a turkey. I honestly don't think anything beats roasting a turkey in the oven. I really don't. I'm sure a lot of your listeners would disagree. And I would take a turkey done on the grill anytime over a smoked turkey. It's inherently dry because there's no fat in a turkey. There's fat in a brisket. There's fat in a Boston butt.
Yes.
There's no fat in a turkey. And I think when you smoke, you have to have some amount of fat. And that doesn't mean gravy over the top after.
So here's what I have to ask you. You cooking guy, I'm a cooking guy. People automatically assume that I am hosting Thanksgiving, and I've been hosting Thanksgiving ever since I've been all up in this cooking thing. You're going somewhere. People would imagine that you're a guy that's hosting Thanksgiving. You're cooking. Not the case.
No, I don't do a damn thing. Kelly, my wife, made the desserts. She made a pumpkin roll and a nut tart that were amazing.
Nut tart.
So damn good. I just show up. And, but here's the problem with not having your own Thanksgiving. There's no leftovers for you.
Well,
you're completely at the mercy of the people to say, do you want to take some of this home? Do you know what they were giving away?
Dinner rolls.
Cranberries.
No. Is it
cranberry sauce?
Canned jelly cranberry sauce, or was it at least the real cranberries?
They made 3 different types. I don't like cranberries at the Thanksgiving table, let alone the next day, especially when I don't have any of my own damn turkey or stuffing to go with it.
Sam, I'm going to take you off track here just for a second. I'm looking in my instant chat. Last week I heard you talking about how you were going to be on like the turkey hotline.
Yes, sir.
Did you sit on the board with my man Neil Straughter, a.k.a. Big Mista?
That's your boy?
My boy! Neil! Dude, Sam, if it's got barbecue, I know them.
He is you know what? I should have known. I should have said, hey, man, do you know Greg? He's a cool guy. We had a lot of fun sitting beside each other. A lot of fun.
That's a guy you got to have on the show. I mean, he's a SoCal guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a little further north of here, but we could totally work it out. I enjoyed hanging out with him for 3 hours, which was, 2.5 hours too long.
So when you're fielding these got to be like last minute type of calls. How many were, oh shit, Sam, my turkey is still frozen and dinner's in 5 hours. What can I do?
I have a 22-pound turkey. It's frozen. How long will it take to cook?
Yeah.
That completely legitimate. So I was asked that.
What?
I said, how long will it take to cook? I go, well, once you thaw it, which is going to be in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, easy.
Then it will take you 12 to 15 minutes a pound at 325. Unbelievable. How about this one? I was told, hey, I have a question. I was told if I substitute marijuana for oregano in my stuffing, it'll really enhance the flavor.
Marijuana?
I was like, dude, I don't know if I don't think that's going to make the flavor better. Well, oregano is very distinct. Yes, marijuana is distinct, but not really in that kind of fragrant, aromatic sort of way.
I was going to say, marijuana not typically known for that awesome aromatic olfactory pleasantness.
Yes, it will definitely change things.
Oh, yeah. Everybody be real mellow.
Is the way you want it to change.
Yeah, everybody be real mellow, and there'll be no leftovers for sure.
My God.
No doubt.
I don't know, people. And you know what? It's so funny. I mean, there is so much anxiety involved with cooking your first, second, or third Thanksgiving dinner that people freak. It's like cooking a chicken. It's just bigger. That's all it is. It's just bigger. You need more time. Do everything else after. Stuffing outside of the bird if you want. You don't need to stuff the bird. Have people bring stuff. But I always say, when you have people bring things, tell them what you want and be specific.
Right.
If you say to somebody, bring rolls, you'll get the cheapest ass rolls maybe that money can't buy. Tell them to buy really good, high quality. Go to this bakery, ask for Neil, tell them you want these. They're in the back. He'll get them for you.
Right.
That kind of thing, you know?
Here's the thing that I don't understand. Maybe you can shed a little light on it. Or maybe maybe this is one of those things where I just happen upon this when I'm deep thinking, which is like 3 times a year. Yeah. You talk about how intimidating turkey cooking can be, and the Thanksgiving Day process can be. You know, for me, it's going to be intimidating even the 10th time you do it, because it is so anxious and so happened to.
So great.
It's crazy. It's escaped all of the commercialism of all the other big holidays, Christmas and even Halloween, all that other stuff. It's escaped all that commercialism, but the anticipation is crazy. How come people are only cooking a turkey 1 or 2 times a year? What the hell is going on? You cook chicken all of the time, and it's not anxious. You cook turkey, and you're like, I'm going to screw it up.
An excellent point. I don't know.
Is it not good enough to eat more than once or twice a year?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think it's too good to eat. I think it's got this sanctified, image and persona that you can't really have it outside. It's like, let me think about this. I'm trying to think of an example. You know those candy corns you have at Halloween?
Yes.
Once a year, right?
Correct.
Actually, it shouldn't even be once a year. Those things should be taken off the market. I think they're horrible. But turkey has this, image that it only comes out then. I use ground turkey for all kinds of things all year long.
Yeah. But you're not cooking a whole turkey.
Turkey, no.
Oh.
Last year, 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, I cooked a whole turkey myself. So we could all have turkey again with no pressure of extra family around. But I could also make enough that all my kids could take leftovers home to their houses.
Right.
Here's some turkey. Here's some potatoes. Here's some stuffing. Here's all the things that you should do with those now. You should make a stuffing omelet tomorrow morning. You should make turkey and stuffing tacos. You should make stuffing balls. If anybody has any stuffing left over, warm it just slightly so you can mold it because it gets a little more moist.
Right.
Zap it in the microwave for 30 seconds, a little bowl of it. Roll it into 1-inch round balls. Compact little things.
What she said.
Dip it in beaten egg, and then in breadcrumbs. Panko breadcrumbs, if you have them, if not any kind.
Love panko.
And then throw them in the oven for, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes at 350. Get them crispy on the outside, and then dip them in whatever you want. You could use gravy, but I think what's more fun is sour cream with a little hot sauce drizzled on the top of it.
Yeah.
Got the warm stuffing ball. You've got the cool sour cream. You got the spicy hot sauce. It's a gem.
Let me tell you one. My mom cooks the twice baked potato thing, and they're super creamy. And then she'll initially serve them back into the potato skin for presentation. And then, whatever you don't eat gets scooped back out, put in a Tupperware, gets put in the refrigerator overnight. Then the next day, or she puts them in a pan, like a brownie pan. And then she'll cut out squares. She'll egg wash it. She'll do the panko, and then she'll fry the potatoes. I
love that.
It's crazy.
I love the little potato cakes.
Yeah, all things that she never made when I lived at home. What the? You get creative after you move to Florida and you leave me behind in Ohio. It's crazy.
Because you know what it is? She's in Florida. She's talking food with all of the other old people there. By the way, we'll be there together at some point talking about this stuff in the world. But that's the thing, I love the leftover part of Thanksgiving. I think a little bit more than I love the live actual eating part of Thanksgiving.
I'm going to ask you a question here.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Southern California who competes on a competition barbecue team. He's the top chicken cook right now in Kansas City Barbecue Society. His name is Harry Sue from Slap Yo Daddy Barbecue. And I was invited.
I know that.
Yeah, very famous. So I was invited a couple weeks ago to go down to the Kingsford Invitational Championship. That was their inaugural event, and they invited 8 teams that had won huge events over the course of the year to do this World Series, if you will, and crown one $50,000 take-all winner.
Holy shit.
Yeah, great, right? So Harry Sue was one of the judges.
Where was it?
It was down in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So I was talking with Harry Sue, who happened to be one of the judges, and his mission now and what he is teaching in his classes, and I wanted to get your take on this, is that poultry is being significantly overcooked. Now, I'm not talking about like the old 180 days,
right.
So, where now it's like 165-ish.
165, right? They brought it down. The government's brought it down.
He is saying at 140 degrees, poultry done, The FDA is defiant, and they will just not make that change to the delineations of food temperature safety, and that all the microbes and the bugs and all that stuff are killed at 118 or 120 degrees, and that he's cooking his chicken in competition 140 degrees, and that's what he is now preaching. Would you consider that?
Absolutely.
You would?
Absolutely. Because there's a point at which, and clearly he understands this, there's two important points here. One is the temperature at which you kill all the nasty stuff that you don't want to have, right?
Right.
Once you've done that, the next point is the level at which it retains all of the juiciness, all of the moisture, all of the amazing flavor that it has. And I'm going to guess, and I've not put a thermometer on this, but the next time I grill some chicken, I'm going to do this. I'm going to guess that he's right with that. And that number is 140. You can't go, honestly, I believe in government. I believe we have to have them. I think they do a lot of things for us. But there's times when, for the general good, they have to come out. With these numbers, they need to be, because they have to worry about people saying the government told me to cook it there, and everybody's going to undershoot, and it's that kind of thing.
So keeping in that was kind of a nice dovetail, and I appreciate that, Sam.
Yeah.
Last time we were going to talk about this whole California weirdo thing about foie gras being banned in the state. I mean, look. I don't even. Short of the mayor of New York City saying you can't have X amount of ounces of pop at one time, this is one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard.
Look at left coast and right coast.
Yeah,
we seem to be plagued with these very, very liberal opinions about food and things.
So if you cooked
responsibility.
If you cooked a foie gras right now, would you be arrested?
No.
But you can't buy it.
You can't buy it. That's the thing.
So the people that were making money on this can't sell it.
You can't sell it as a restaurant here in California now. I can't go to a restaurant and order an appetizer of foie gras.
Huh.
They did this in Chicago a few years ago. And what the restaurateurs in Chicago did is, instead of selling foie gras, they sold an order of French fries for $25.
Yeah,
that had a little side of foie gras with it. Eventually, the city fathers of Chicago decided that it was ridiculous. And they pulled this foie gras ban. You're going to find opposition on either side of this question. Really, what you're doing is you're taking a duck or a goose, and in some manner, you're force feeding them to help swell their livers.
Right.
It's just that simple. And whether it's you put out enough food, like, I know if I put out food every 10 minutes in my dog's bowls, they would probably eat it.
Right.
There's a guy in France who makes foie gras the natural way. Lots of food, lots of food, lots of food. He doesn't force it at all, and they eat it.
Yeah.
The thing is you can find people who force feed. It's called gavage. When a tube goes down the throat of the goose or the duck, and they put extra feed in, so they have to eat it. They don't really have a choice about it.
Yeah.
You'll find people that say when they come out to the yard where the geese or the ducks are with the feed and the tubes, the geese or the ducks run to them because they want this.
Who wouldn't?
That's one school of thought. The other school of thought is the school that says it's cruelty to animals and you shouldn't be doing it.
Sure. You're feeding them whether they like it or not.
Right.
So, how does that fall?
California has adopted the position that, no, you cannot sell it here in California. So it's essentially banned.
So is that good for you or bad for you, personally?
I'm a huge foie gras fan. And whether you like it or not, I believe we are the higher species. I mean, I guess you could adopt that thinking to everything. We shouldn't be having beef because they should just be allowed to roam the hills and the valleys of, our outlands and do what they want to do.
I like to eat the animals.
I don't buy that. I believe in eating the animal.
Absolutely. Let me transition here real quick. And I sent you some text message photos of this. I made the spicy sausage pasta dish this past Friday night.
Boy.
Kids loved it. I loved it. Great flavor. But best thing about it was like this ease of preparation. If you could, share the recipe, in general, if you don't know like the specifics with the listeners. And then I want to ask you something else as a follow-up.
I got it. Look, it's a classic Sam the Cooking Guy recipe. Super easy. It starts with you sautéing spicy Italian sausages that you buy in the casings that you could do in your grill, that you could smoke, that you could do in a pan. You take the sausage, you slice it open, and the Italian sausage comes out, and you cook it in a pan. You can go to stores where you can just buy a big-ass handful of Italian sausage raw, like ground meat.
Right.
And you're going to saute that, and you're going to saute it with some garlic and a little nutmeg if you want, salt and pepper. You're going to get it to the point where it's cooked through. Then you're going to add some whipping cream to it, the liquid, not whipped cream,
correct,
whipping cream to it. And you're going to let it simmer. And what's going to happen is it's going to start to thicken. The whipping cream is going to reduce. It's going to thicken. It's going to be delicious. When you're getting to that point, boil some pasta. Penne pasta works great because it's the little tube with the hole through the middle, and the sauce gets inside and clings to it, right?
Yeah.
You cook your pasta. When the pasta is ready, you throw it into this sauce, spicy Italian sausage that's cooked with the garlic and the salt and the pepper, and then you add some butter, and then you add some Parmesan cheese. You mix the whole thing, and you're done. You can throw some, chopped up parsley in it if you want, but it's that simple. I'll tell you what's really good about it. It microwaves back to life the next day beautifully.
Yeah, I was going to say, we enjoyed it for like a day and a half because I made a double batch. And
I think you should. Yeah. And you know what, Greg? It freezes really well, too. I think on the website it's called spicy-ish sausage pasta.
Yep.
And it freezes. Just take whatever's left over, freeze it in a Ziploc bag in portion sizes that whatever you and your husband, wife, or kids want to eat. And then take it out of the fridge that morning when you go off to work. It'll defrost, and then you just, you're fine. Yeah,
easily going to be right in the arsenal of, like, nice, quick things that taste great. Even my wife said, that the flavor, kids are one thing, but, you get an adult palate, and you make something for the first time, if I can hear there's good flavor in that, then I know that's one also that I can chuck over into the arsenal. And I mentioned ease of preparation, not a lot of ingredients, as you just said. That's really kind of seems to be the MO of the live cast of Sam the Cooking Guy, something you can do 25, 30 minutes. Are you a minimalist at heart when you're cooking?
I think for the most part, I did a couple of years ago, for some reason, I wanted to do a blue cheese wonton. And I'm going to not get this right, but for me, the easiest way to it was a wonton wrapper with crumbled blue cheese in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I baked it, and it came out of the oven. There's a crab wonton recipe on my website, cookingguy.com, that is the same thing. Wonton wrapper, crab and some things inside, cream cheese, whatever, folded up, sealed, baked, delicious. So I go to make a blue cheese wonton. My first thought goes to the least amount of ingredients. Crumbled blue cheese in a wonton wrapper. Came out of the oven. I took a bite. Oh my God, it was not very good at all. Then I had to start to add a couple of things. I don't even know if it's on my website. I don't know that I ever actually officially did it, but I think I ended up doing like some cream cheese. I had to back it off. It was way too strong. But I go first to the least amount of ingredients that I can do. That's it. Here's what I say. I want to eat well. I don't want it to take forever.
Two more questions. It's that simple. Two more questions, then I'll let you go. I swear to God. I'm going to share with you a story that was kind of embarrassing for me.
Uh-oh.
And the reason that I thought about
this pants down thing?
No.
Not that?
No pants down. Swear to God. But the thing that made me think about it, or the reason why I wanted to bring it up and get your take on it, is because it kind of similarly happened to you with Mike Isabella.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I was talking about, the Kingsford Invitational thing.
Yes.
And I'm down there, and all of the teams that were competing, I had on my show. 7 of them I had on my show this year.
Wow.
One of them all 8 of them I have had on my show at some point. 7 of them I had on my show this year. So, I get some time. I get to go around. People are, saying my name first before I get to make the introduction. It was great. And then one of the worst things in the world happened to me. I am kind of talking with a couple dudes that I met down there who I've had on my show. I got to meet a lot of people person to person finally that I've had on my show. So here's the guy's name is Johnny Trigg, just recently inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame, 75 years. I mean, he's been doing it forever. Legend, living legend in this industry. Been on the show a couple times. And I'm like, here's the moment. He did a turn in. I'm going to grab him real quick. I tell these other guys, Chris and John, hey, I'm going to go introduce myself and meet Johnny Trigg. Introduce myself. Name, has no idea who I am. Mention the show. Doesn't even remember being on the show. Doesn't even remember it. And I'm like, so I look over and Chris and John are laughing. They're taking pictures of the whole thing. They're seeing the whole thing go down. And he just kind of like pushes me out of the way to get back to his trailer to continue to do. It was, look, I'm as unassuming as it comes. Nobody should ever know me, not even in the barbecue world, because I don't compete. I'm just a guy that hosts a show once a week. I mean, who am I? It seemed so crazy that it for 1 second would even bother me. And I was like, I thought
did it
because
it bothered you on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did it bother you?
Oh, like 3, but enough to bump the meter. Right. I mean, it's not life changing, but I thought, here's a guy who had been on the show, and he's, I get to meet him face to face. He can put a face to the name, and there was just no connection there. So when I saw it, it wasn't the same thing that happened to you, but I thought, geez, a dude that's in your house,
Mike Isabella standing in my kitchen right here, right behind me.
Yeah.
As he's prepping for the show, and he looks at me and he says, "Do you cook?"
Right?
And I go, "Yeah." What am I going to say?
30 seconds. Dude, 30 seconds.
I'm on TV. I've shot 800 episodes. I've been on the Today Show 14 times. I've got 3 cookbooks. How do you not know who I am? Of course, you're not going to say any of that.
Right.
Stuff. But it was that moment. You know what? Here's the thing. I tell this story my very first time on the Today Show. Very first time. I do my thing. It goes great. I say frickin', and they say to me after, nobody's ever said frickin' on the Today Show. And I go, was it bad? And they go, no. It was, the control room thought it was great. So Kelly and I are leaving the Today Show. We're walking down like 49th Street in New York. I still have the smell of the studio on my clothes.
Yeah.
And I get a text that says 2 important questions. 1, can you come back here to the Today Show in 2 months? Like, holy shit. What? I'm still warm from the lights and you're asking me to come back. How? That's amazing. What could the next question be? You want me to be the president of the network? You want me to take over from Matt Lauer?
Right.
They go like this. The second question, everybody here wants to know where your wife got her boots.
What?
So here's the point. Just when you think it's all about you,
not about you.
It's not about you.
I thought if I'm going to your house, for some reason I can bypass it. It was more embarrassing than the fact that the other 2 guys documented me getting faced.
Oh no, that was
no doubt about it. That was the worst. That was the best part in the worst.
Life humbles you at times for all kinds of things, and if this is the worst humiliation we've had to suffer, we're okay.
Correct, absolutely. But it was and that became the running joke for the weekend, of course.
It should be a running joke forever.
Believe me, for these people, it is. I get pictures, once a day saying, "Hey, remember this?"
Hey, remember that day Johnny Trigg had no idea who the hell you were?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm going to your house, I might do at least 30 seconds of a Google to see who you are.
I don't know. Here's what I think. I mean, I don't know how he got here, what the paper trail was or the email trail. If anybody said, you're going to be interviewed by a guy who cooks on TV,
right?
Whatever. He might have just heard interview San Diego, go. And he walked in. There was nobody. There was a knock at the door, and I opened the door, and it's Mike Isabella from freaking Top Chef standing in front of me. And I'm like, dude, where are your people? He goes, I am my people.
That's me.
I guess I thought he would have come with somebody, at least one somebody. Maybe I was expecting. In fact, I reached out to the people that organized it 2 days before and said, how many people are coming? Because if there's going to be extra people, I want to make sure I got headphones ready for everybody so they can hear everything.
Right.
I got no response. And I thought, wow, he's so big and they're so big that I just have to deal with it when it happens. Right. I expected at least Mike Isabella and 2 people to show up.
No posse.
Nothing. He rolls on his own.
Look, and the bottom line is this. Whether you know the backstory or not, in which you came clean like the next show, which you didn't have to do, nobody would have thought any of the different. I thought you guys were fast friends or old friends. Yeah. The show was great. He cooked. You guys had great banter back and forth. He told a story. It was wonderful. So as far as production standpoint, who would have known?
It didn't matter. But here's the thing. It's like the show. I point out all the mistakes when they happen, whether it's my cooking show or whether it's a live cast. And not that I feel like I need to. Maybe I do feel like I need to. I don't really know what the answer is. I don't know why I do that. But I do it, and I think people appreciate it. And I think it brings me to a level that everybody gets.
Yeah.
Because nobody points out their shit when it goes wrong, I remember hearing that Rachel Ray, her very first Food Network show, 30-Minute Meals, she cut herself like 2 minutes into the taping. They stopped the tape.
Yeah. They
crazy glued the cut, which is a pretty common thing to do.
Correct.
And won't make you sick or anything. It's not poison. They put makeup on. They backed it up a little bit, and they continued to shoot like nothing happened.
Yeah.
When I cut myself on my show, I go, but it did happen. And I think it's important that people understand that stuff does happen. We're all regular, everyday people.
You just pulled back there, didn't you?
Pardon me?
You just pulled back there for a second. You kept it clean.
You know why I kept it clean? Because the very first time
Look at
I was
you.
on this show, you told me people complain that I swore too much.
Look.
By the way,
sorry.
I said the F word tonight maybe 2 or 3 times. The word was frickin'.
Yes. Look, do me a solid here, real quick. Neil just showed up into the chat. Give Neil a hey-o.
Hey, Neil.
Neil.
When the dude asked about putting marijuana in the stuffing, he's a funny guy. I only have one complaint about Neil. At some point in the 3 effing hours that we sat there and answered questions, big important Neil left the conversation, went outside, and he cooked for like the TV, like the anchors and shit like that, right?
Wow. The nerve.
Ask me what food he brought back up for us that we're slaving away at the turkey hotline. Just ask me.
What food did he bring up for you guys slaving away at the emergency Thanksgiving bank?
Fucking nothing.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Uh-oh.
And, here's what he goes. He goes, yeah, he did this little stuffing thing in a cup, but like little muffins that he made after he put together. And he goes, we got those inside. When the whole thing was over, I went downstairs, and they were just coming out of the oven. And he goes, I'm going to the bathroom. I couldn't stay. I had to leave. I got none of his food. So
wow.
I'll say this. He's a very cool guy. I had a lot of fun hanging out with him, and he's welcome here anytime. As long as he brings some food along.
There you go. Well, he's got an award-winning barbecue thing. All right, last thing before I let you go. I know we've run incredibly long. I apologize. So here it is. Are you a fan of the Food Network, yes or no?
Depends. Depends what it is.
Like you watch it?
I watch Chopped. Not regularly.
What about like the personalities? You watch the personalities?
The Tools?
Yes, the Tools.
Not really. I mean, if I'm flipping channels and Paula Dean is there or Bobby Flay is there, I watch, but I don't know.
All right. Look, you're a Howard Stern fan. I'm a Howard Stern fan. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, F, Marry, Kill with Sam the cooking guy. Here we go. F, Marry, Kill. You know how to play, obviously. For the people that, I guess, in the chat room that might not understand what F, Marry, Kill is, F, you can figure it out. It's a swear word. We all love to do it. It wins everything. Sex is undefeated in the history of the world. Marry is somebody you would marry. Kill is somebody you have to kill. So here we go.
One person I have to say who I would F, one I would marry, and one I would kill.
Correct. And I have hand selected these three individuals. I'm just wondering.
Okay.
Paula Dean.
Yes.
Ina Garten. Rachel Ray. Who are you going to kill?
I'm effing Rachel Ray.
Effing Rachel. All right. I can see that.
Ian is old and kind of big.
Yeah.
Ina Garten is not that old, but still kind of big.
Yes.
Rachel is the best option for the F part.
All right.
I'm effing Rachel Ray, no question.
No question.
No question. I'm killing Paula Dean because her food would kill you.
Yes.
And the accent I find annoying after about 10 minutes. And if you
10
listen,
seconds.
She's got like a smoker's hack in her cough and her laugh.
Yeah.
I used to smoke. I'm not opposed to smoking, but I don't want to hear that witch's laugh. Actually, I quite like Ina Garten's food.
All right. So you're going to marry Ina.
Ina Garten. She's jovial. She's half Jewish. I'm Jewish.
Full Jew.
I think we get along well.
Does that make you? Does it make you 1.5? Does that make you 1.5 Jewish?
No, it makes me one Jew. It makes her half a Jew. So we got some ground to cover to talk about. Some similarity stuff there. Yes, Paula Dean.
Yeah,
good. I'm going to kill her. I'm marrying Ina Garten, and I'm effing Rachel Ray.
All right, there you go. F, Marry, Kill from Sam Zion, Sam the cooking guy. All right, Sam, I kept you.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Sam the Cooking Guy is the website, and then, of course, the SamLivecast.com is the place to go to watch them Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Sam, always enjoy the time together. Thanks so much.
Thank you, my friend.
You got it. Cheers. There he is, Sam the Cooking Guy. Ran a little long there. I apologize, but the conversation was good. How weird is it that Neil showed up? Neil, what are you doing, you crazy cat? You are crazy. Gang, Christmas is coming up. Are you somebody that has a grilling or barbecue guy that doesn't like to sit in 10 pit temperatures? Man, you know I got the offer for you, right? The longest running sponsor of the show, the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices. And here's the bottom line, right? These guys invented the technology. Why would you buy from anywhere else? Are there other competing products out there? Absolutely. Did they create the technology? Hell no. Why are you going to go... when you're looking for this item, why would you go anywhere else? Patently ridiculous. Irresponsible. You're a danger to yourself, friends, and family, and others if you're looking anywhere else on the internet for it. Look... here's the idea, right? You hook it up to your cooker. You set up a temperature, and then bang, just like that, magic through fans and microprocessors. It keeps that selected pit temperature control all the way through the cook. Maybe you're a busy working professional. Maybe you have a lot of kids that are running around and you don't have the time to sit there and make sure that your pit is on temperature. Look, I understand. I get it. I'm human. Go to the Barbecue Guru and see one of their particular units. How does it fit in your budget? How does it fit in your level of geekdom? I don't know. You have to go and check it out. They have the ever-popular CyberQ Wi-Fi. Look, we have a number of devices out there that connect to the interwebs, right? You have tablets. You have smartphones. You have netbooks. You have laptops. If you have a wireless connection, you have access on the CyberQ Wi-Fi to what the pit temperature is at. And with 3 additional meat thermometers, you can see where your brisket is at, where your pork butt is at, where your chicken is at. And if in the middle of the night you want to see where all of those temperatures are because you're doing an overnight cook, you wake up, you connect to the internet, boom, it searches you right through that internet web interface, and you can see where your pit temperature is at. You can see where the meat temperature is at. You're running a little behind, ramp it up. You're running a little ahead of time, ramp it down, bro. Right from the comfort of your own bed. What? Here's what you do. You go to thebbqguru.com. That's thebbqguru.com. Or you can call them 800-288-GURU. But check out all the products. They have that Onyx oven, too. Look, the Onyx oven is great because it is obviously going to fit any of those Barbecue Guru automatic temperature control devices as well. You get help after the sale. They'll get you outfitted with exactly what you need out of the box. thebbqguru.com or 800-288-GURU, G-U-R-U. The Barbecue Guru, a breakthrough in barbecue technology. All right, when we come back, I'll wrap up the first hour, and we will go from there. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Networks.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Boys Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots. We don't need a radio. Bring a jukebox for my outlaws. Bring me 3 shots. We can raise hell before the speed stops. I'm a whiskey drinking SOB. If you don't like that, then you won't like me. I'm an outlaw. I said I'm an outlaw. Fire up the Harley, now I'm off to Cali to do my thing. Rolling down the 15 full speed, splitting these lanes. I got the common vote thinking that I'm going insane. True outlaw, think I'm lying, just Google the name. Since 2006,
all right, we are back. 877-448-0433. The email address, greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Also the email address, if you want to donate for the drive for $5,000, that's the PayPal address, greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. As a matter of fact, I will link it right here in the chat. Make sure I did that right. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Let me go back through the instant chat here and see where we're at. Anybody saying anything fun and exciting? I know, man, I hated to recount the story of Timmy Trigg, but I had to do it. Let me get an email here from Steve. All right. So, to bring you up to speed on where we're at with the Cancer Sucks Chicago, that's where the fundraising money is going to. CancerSucksChicago.com. CancerSucksChicago.com. Check that out. This is for the Corliss Johnson Memorial Fund. And we'll have Scotty on at some point to talk about it as well. But any money that we're generating, obviously, will go there. I'm only doing the Guy Rempe. We've kind of nicknamed it the Guy Rempe. Blonde hair and the goatee. If we get to $5,000, so we're at $2,375 currently. So we're almost halfway there. Doug Caston came in huge with Smoker's Purgatory with a $1,000 offering. So he wins the Accutron Bowl of a watch that is an equal value to his donation. $1,000 gets you a $1,000 Accutron watch per Stephen DeFranco, not in studio, much to the dismay of people. A lot of great reaction and email to somebody actually sitting in studio and kind of busting my balls a little bit during the course of the show. Neil, you would know about gray hair. Watch it, friend. Watch it, friend. I know if I was sitting on a Thanksgiving hotline and I went out to cook, I would cook for the people that was helping people with the turkey talk. As a matter of fact, Rod Gray was also sitting on that bank, and we happen to have him on the phone. We welcome in Pitmaster of Pellet Envy, Rod Gray. Rod, you were on there as well. How much? How much food? What did you get from Neil Big Mr. Straughter at the food bank?
Nothing.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Great. Now now Rod Gray didn't get anything either. Jeez, Pete, what's going on with you people over there? Thanks to Sam, the cooking guy, not AKA, Sam Zion, AKA Sam, the cooking guy. His web address is, again, thecookingguy.com. And you can find a lot of recipes there. That's where I found that spicy-ish sausage pasta, which is phenomenal. And if you want to watch him live in action, you can see that tomorrow night and Thursday night. He was also last night. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'm on Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific, and it is done in high-definition video. So you're going to need to have a high-speed internet connection to really watch it. If you don't, then you're going to buffer quite a bit because they do stream out in like 720, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you could see the kitchen behind him. We've done a whole segment on his kitchen before because it's one of the best end-user kitchens I've ever seen. And a lot of great turkey talk and just talk in general, you name it, whatever. Here's a question from Patrick. How long does Guy Rempe stay? The Guy Rempe stays for a one whole show, and then he finds a hair cutter and gets his head buzzed. So I think that puts me into not getting laid for roughly 6 months. Hey, all in the name of charity, right? Absolutely. Let me see. Am I going to be able to do this? Damn. All right, quickly, folks. Barbecuers Delight Wood Pellets, bbqrsdelight.com. That's the place to go for Barbecuers Delight Wood Pellets. I use them in my pellet cooker. You should use them in your pellet cooker as well. Widely considered to be the pellet resource when we're talking about pellet-fired cookers. So if you don't have a pellet-fired cooker, that's fine. No big deal. You can use the cast iron pot option, but it's bbqrsdelight.com. That's barbecuersdelight.com. All right, we're going to head to the second hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Scott Greenya from Fairfax, Vermont, also known as Scotty DeQ, and you're listening to The Barbecue Central Show.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Now listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really. Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
Science, magic and technology, voodoo dolls and chance, electricity will make it with science, fantasy and microchips, shooting from the hip, something different will make.
All right, we are back in the second hour. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are two email addresses. That's the email address. One is obviously the phone number. The email address is also the PayPal official address for the drive for $5,000, the Guy Rempe. Going to cancersuckchicago.com. Trying to raid the 5,000. So we're $23.75 as we just talked about here before the end of the first hour. Thanks again to Sam Zion, a.k.a. Sam the Cooking Guy, for joining me pretty much last hour. He didn't know he was going to do roughly 2 segments. But he did. And it was great. Great conversation. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. You guys know that Thanksgiving was Thursday. You guys know, where's this going to be at? Videos. All right. Well, now I got to find. Oh, here we go. So you guys also know that people love to turkey fry, right? No doubt about it. So let's go and take a look at some people turkey frying. I'll go ahead and add myself here. Oh, shit. I'll fix that. I'll fix it. I swear to God. Oh, damn it. Flying through space.
Here goes the turkey. I got.
Don't die, Nick.
Yeah, get the fire extinguisher out of here. Fire extinguisher and beer.
Do it.
Do it. Put your other hand on the pin.
Oh, yeah. Just drop it in there, dude. Just drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Do it.
Metal right in with it.
Here it comes.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, just drop it in there. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing bad's going to happen. Oh, look, there it is. You can see it spilling over right now. I saw it.
Going, man. Woohoo!
Oh, come on. What is going on here? Oh. All right, here we go. No, well, it doesn't show. God damn it. No. I don't want to watch it when I can't see it blow up. Maybe this one will be better.
Okay, the bird's coming up.
Lower down.
Okay, the marinades.
Lower down.
Some of the marinades. Right, okay.
Oh, this one has promise.
Okay.
This one has potential.
Okay.
We'll have a little marinade. We'll douse that on afterwards.
Okay.
These guys look smart. Look at that guy's pants.
All right. Here goes nothing, folks.
Oh, run now.
Whoa. That's what I call some hot basting.
That's
one hot turkey. Okay, let's put her back in.
Yeah, put it back in. Nothing's on fire.
We're cooking, boys.
What's on
Let it
fire?
boil. Whoa!
Oh, my God. Just...
Uh-oh. That's what I call outrageous, folks.
Yeah, just drop it in there. Who's going to need that? Nobody's going to need that.
Welcome to the outrageous outdoors.
Wow.
Man, we need to do something here. We got oil splashing everywhere.
Yeah, it'll burn off.
Oh, it'll burn off. You also have no turkey. Wow.
But I'll tell you, it's starting to burn down a little bit. I think your bird's going to do okay there, TJ.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That thing's going to be done in 5 minutes. Look at the handles on the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be done in 5 minutes. Like 5 seconds, douche.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Thanks to John Dawson for those links. All right, who wants to win something? You call in right now, 877-448-0433. Greg at the BBQ. No, you call in. Do it right now, 877-448-0433. You have your choice between the Killer Hogs barbecue sauce or meat rakes. Call in right now. You play a round of F, Marry, Kill with me, and we will give you a prize just for completing that. Meat rakes or, let's see. There we go. All right. So you call in, 877-448-0433, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And you get your choice between meat rakes or the Killer Hogs barbecue sauce, which is from our friend Malcolm Reed over at Killer Hogs. KillerHogs.com is the place you want to go. Click on shop at the top of that website, and then you can actually go ahead and buy. All right, let's do this. First one in. A sometime contributor to the show and host of Whiskey Bent Barbecue in the Pit, Chad Ward from Winter Havens, Florida, joining us. Chad, how are you, buddy? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Whoa, not Winter Haven. Not Winter Haven.
Chad.
Lakeland.
Chad. You dick.
Get that big stuff out of
Dude.
here.
Chad, you ever listen to the show? You ever heard of the Echo Monster? You ever heard of not listening to the show on your computer when you call into the show, you idiot?
Get that big stuff out of here.
Jeez, oh, Pete. What are you doing? How do you fall victim? Chad, you of all people that has a show, what are you doing? Come on. 877-448-0433. I knew it. As soon as 10 seconds in saying that he wasn't from Lakeland. Who cares where you're from? You're from Echo, Florida. Echo Monster, Florida, calling in. 877-448-0433. I have 3 bottles of Killer Hog sauce to give away. I also have meat rakes to give away. Your choice for completing F, Marry, Kill. Hurry, call in. This is a one-time fleeting offer. Otherwise, we'll have to do something else. I'm afraid somebody's going to call in, and then, I'm screwed because I'm about to tell you something that you really want to be aware of. You know what? I'm just going to save it. That's fine. Let's go to area code 217. Name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Jason. I'm in Palmyra, Illinois.
Jason! How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you, Greg?
Palmyra. I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Jason. I appreciate you asking. Ready to play F, Marry, Kill?
Yeah.
All right. You understand the game, yes?
Yes, sure do.
All right, so here we go. Your selection, Ina Garten, Paula Dean, Rachel Ray. First and foremost, who are we killing?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Wait, I didn't say her as an option. Jason, play the game. Who are we killing?
Oh. Rachel Ray.
Killing Rachel Ray. Wow. All right. Didn't see that one coming. Who are we going to F?
Can I change my last answer?
No, now you have to live with it. You've already killed somebody, so you're on the run. You're a fugitive.
All right, I'll go with Ina Garten.
I would too. Hate to say it. So that means you're going to marry Paula Dean?
Fastest way to a man's heart through his stomach.
There you go. I understand that. All right, so Jason is killing Rachel Ray, effing Ina Garten, and marrying Paula Dean. Jason, do you want the Killer Hog sauce or do you want meat rakes?
Killer Hog sauce.
Killer Hog's sauce. All right. Jason, here's what you need to do. You need to email me your shipping address, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we'll get that shipped out right to you, buddy.
All right.
All right. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Thanks, Greg.
There he is. Jason from Palmyra. I was born in Elmira, New York, which is not Palmyra, Illinois, by the way. Just in case you didn't know that. And that's going to do it. Jason wins. We're going to load up for...
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central...
Hold on a damn minute. What the hell just happened here? Segment 2. Live read. What? Let me do this. I'm not sure exactly what the hell happened. All right, so good for Sam. Killer Hogs. Good for Sam. Good for Jason. Killer Hog sauce. Look, he has dared me to dye my hair blonde to raise money for charity. Who am I to say that? He also is going to give Doug Casson a $1,000 retail value Accutron Bulova watch. Guess what? This watch is a $1,000 Accutron Bulova watch right here. The rose gold, nice fancy rose gold clasp right there. You have the Accutron, the Bulova signals, insignias there. It's a diving watch. This is my favorite watch, by the way. I know I'm giving you a look behind the scenes. Terrible. I've said it time and time again. Look, we're getting to crunch time, folks, right? Getting to crunch time, folks. Christmas is coming. Hanukkah's coming. A number of other holidays are coming. Whatever you celebrate. You ever thought about a nice watch, some high-end jewelry, but you don't want to pay the high-end price? Yeah, I know. I'm with you. You would recall last week, Steve said he had some 26 Accutron watches, or a bowl of. They were Accutron watches, half off. Go look on the website. See what you're going to do. Quite honestly, I'm buying my wife something from Stephen DeFranco this year as well. She didn't hear me. You go to the website, Stephen DeFranco, DIFRANCO, StephenDeFranco.com. Look at whatever he has. And then when you got the real deal price, right, you call in 440-943-2700, and you talk to the guy that was in studio last week. He owns the store. He owns the store. That's the guy. Okay? 440-943-2700. If you want the watch, say, hey, I want the Accutron watches that are 50% off, or I want some diamond earrings, or I want a tennis bracelet, or I want a anniversary band. I believe Shad Glenn was buying an anniversary band, or at least consulted one Stephen DeFranco, which I appreciate and adore. Again, the website, StephenDeFranco.com, 440-943-2700. Tell me you're a listener to the show. Tell me you heard him on the show last week, and that you want the barbecue brother and sister hookup, and he's going to be happy to do it. Everything ships for free. The watches get that extended warranty, the watch care plan, all that great stuff, and you're helping out a local Cleveland company, but somebody that supports the show. What do I always say? Best thing you can do for the show, support the sponsors. Support the sponsors. StephenDeFranco.com, 440-943-2700. We're coming back with Noah Glanville, a pit barrel cooker. Stand by.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, 14 past the hour. We are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. My first guest in the second hour has garnered a lot of attention both in the cookers industry and actually to this show. Over the past 4 or 5 months, I've gotten a number of requests to have him on the show. So who am I to deny? Nobody can even see me. What the hell am I doing? Who am I to deny the Centralites what they want the most? Let's go ahead and race over to the hotline, grab the owner of Pit Barrel Cooker, Noah Glanville, joining me here on the show. Noah, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. Thanks a lot, Greg, for having me on the show.
Oh, you got it. Well, I knew this was going to happen. I got to resize you here real quick. I apologize for that. While I do that, why don't we go ahead and get a little background on you? And, you know, has barbecue and grilling been something that you have always been in? Is it something that you've decided to get into later in life? How does that kind of shake out for you?
Sure. Yeah. You know, a great question. I've always been into barbecuing. Love it. My whole family's been into it. And I was in the military and got out, went as a contractor, and I never thought that I was going to have the opportunity to really do what I wanted to do with food, and just kind of saved my money up and started playing with these barrels, and I knew there was a lot to it, and I knew that there was a huge opportunity out there, you know, otherwise known as the ugly drum smoker, commonly known as, and I thought if we could tweak this thing and get it to where you take all the guesswork out of it, and really build something special and incorporate a meat hanging method that we've been working with, we could do some phenomenal things, and that's kind of where it's at today.
So I guess that was kind of like my next question was, you know, drum cookers have been, or they've at least become very popular, let's say over the last 5-6 years or so. Is that a style of cooker that interested you immediately? Did you give any consideration to like the pellet cookers or the traditional style offsets, or was it always a UDS fascination for you?
Sure. I've always been impressed with what you can get off of a drum. And I don't know, it's that vertical cooking, and for some reason the combination of using the Kingsford briquettes and in that drum and getting the right ventilation, as a lot of people have found out, does some amazing things. And that's kind of been my passions around what the drum cooker can do. I've cooked on just about everything else. I mean, I've tried smokers, your traditional, Weber kettle, and there's a lot of great products out there, and that's what makes it so much fun. There's so much out there, and it's at the end of the day, it's about having fun and trying new things.
Noah Glanville joining me here on the show. pitbarrelcooker.com is the website if you want to go check out his product. Again, that's pitbarrelcooker.com. So you play around with them, you're interested, you like the product that they're producing. When do you decide to go all in and make Pit Barrel Cooker an actual business? I mean, that's a pretty big step to go from, tinkering to let's make it a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a huge step. I mean, I remember talking with my wife about it, and we said, we're going to do this. We've got to go all in here and really make a run at it. We've had great people, that have bought the product and been believers. We did that about 2 years ago, and we a utilities patent on what we thought was the meat hanging predetermined coal basket, and the combination of those things, and we were able to do that, and that was an expensive thing, and to be able to offer the pit at the price that we do, we have to buy 420 of these barrels, all brand new, at a time, full 53-foot truckloads. So it's very expensive, and but we feel like it's worth it, and it's a great product that we're proud to be making in the USA as well. So.
The business plan initially, so it's got to be pretty. Look, I mean, when you're starting any business, you're an entrepreneur. I mean, there's got to be kind of like a holy crap thing going on. You're going to be, there's expenses, there's startup costs, and all of this stuff. Did you think? Obviously, you thought there was going to be some type of market for it, otherwise you wouldn't bother. But, I mean, did you think there was still like a bigger gamble than a potential payoff here, or was that not even a thought?
No, absolutely. I mean, the market's not the best. It's new product, overall. And it's amazing because there's a lot of people out there that have not, look at it and never seen anything like it. And then you have the barbecue community that is familiar with cooking. So times I looked at my wife, there had been some times where we said, what are we doing? Is this really what we should be doing? This is a huge, we put everything into it. We spend countless hours at it. I mean, to top that off, we believe that customer service is absolutely everything. And we be the textbook example of what good customer service is. And so, we take every call. We're fast to get back to people. And so to do that and be a slow growing company, it's tough. But I think we're getting to the point where there's a lot of interest. People really like the product, and we stand behind it. So I think good things are out there, and the people at the bottom, they all love them.
Pitbarrelcooker.com is the website if you want to check out the product. All right, so let's back out just a second. Tell us a little bit about the cooker and how it operates for the people that might not know, I guess, what a UDS is. Sure.
So our product is a 30-gallon container drum, basically. And, the traditional ones are 55-gallon drums. That's what most people are familiar with. We did a 30-gallon just because with the meat hanging method, you can actually put more meat into it than you could a 55-gallon drum. And it's smaller, and so it makes it much more realistic to ship. If it was, 2 inches in diameter either direction, it'd go into the oversized category and it wouldn't work as a business. So basically what this is it comes with a predetermined coal basket. So you fill it at level with Kingsford briquettes, takes all the guesswork out. You can either put lighter fluid on, or for those that don't want to do that, you can use a chimney. You pour that in there. 20 minutes later, either way, the coals are ready. You put the rods in, hang the meat, close the lid, and you literally walk away. The ventilation system that we've done on the bottom is just much set up to your elevation, and the ventilation on top is preset. There's nothing you can mess with, and we've really made it, idiot-proof, for lack of better words. And that's what we wanted to do. And we said we could create something like that. We'd run with it, and it's a pretty awesome product.
2 questions. Can you do lump charcoal in this thing, or does it have to be briquettes because of integrity and burn time and all that good stuff?
Sure, absolutely. And, we get that question all the time. And, you can. What we did was we built this coal bath around the way Kingsford charcoal burns. And we had to pick one in order to take all the guesswork out and make it consistent for everybody. So when we did that...
Hey, Noah? Noah, let me interrupt you here for a second. We're cutting out pretty bad here. Can I try and call you right back?
Absolutely.
Okay. Dump him real quick. Boom, we're back. That happens again, we're going right to phone. I know how you people are with your sound quality. Let me have it otherwise. No, we got you back?
I'm back.
All right, that sounds a little bit better. If not, if you want to email me your like a cell phone or something, just in case it gets a little bit choppy here towards the end again. So we're about, could it be lump charcoal, or does it have to be just briquettes?
Sure. So the answer is yes. You can use lump charcoal if you want to. But like I was saying, when we built, we went around how Kingsford is, and that was much. We figured that was the best way to go, just because it's readily available. It burns very consistent, and that's pretty much what we went with. So you have the best results with the Kingsford briquettes, hands down.
All right, and then did you say that there was no vents or dampers at the bottom?
Correct. Well, actually, there is a 3-inch diameter hole at the bottom that when we ship the barrel out to the customer, we actually look up what their elevation is where we're shipping, and we preset that vent cap so that when they get it, they're ready to go. And at their cooker, they can adjust it as they go to different elevations, but they're pretty much set, and all they have to do is put, and that's the neat thing about this product. There's no assembly. It's light, and they take it literally from the time it gets to the door. And with this Kingsford promotion that they're doing right now, we're actually throwing a bag of free charcoal with all those going out, as it's available. And so they're ready to go. They pour the charcoal in, and they're good to go, and they're ready to cook.
All right, what are we looking at price tag wise, and then what comes with the order?
Sure. So right now, our retail price on that is $329 on our website. We actually just Kingsford is doing a deal where they're offering their grilling.com members a promotional code. So if you go to grilling.com and you become a member, it's free. They'll give you a code. You come back to our website, you enter that code in, and it actually gives you $104 off the Pipero cooker. So that's a screaming deal. You're looking at $225 total price shipped to your door, and that's it's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I got to do this because it's an impartial show on an impartial platform. Let me play devil's advocate here just for a second, though.
Sure.
UDS is supposed to be super easy, inexpensive way to get a decent operating and more important than easy operation, a good capacity cooker. Why do I want to buy one if I could make one for myself less money?
Sure. Question, and we get that a lot. I mean, if I had a dollar for every time we get that question, or someone throws it out there, I could retire right now.
There
probably. You go. The bottom line is, the quantity that we buy the Pipero cookers in and the material, and to be able to offer it at the price. I mean, we're not making a killing on it. We want to be able to offer it and be a company that's, manufactured a good in the United States and it be quality. So your question, by the time you powder coat it and you get all the material, there's just, and then you find a drum that, hasn't been used or hasn't had a product in it that's going to be harmful to you. Everything we use is all brand new. So by the time someone puts all that together and then goes to, powder coat it or paint it, they're looking at me. It's not quite as cheap as what people think. By the time they put their time into it, I've built a lot of them, and literally, we went through, no kidding, 29 prototypes to get this just right. So with ventilation, and that's everything. If you crack the lid or you do anything, it changes the whole way it cooks, and it's a magic way this thing works. So, for someone to spend that kind of money and go through the trial and error of butchering barrels to get it just right, when they could have it shipped to their door right now for $2.25. I mean, it's a no. It's amazing. You get in the package, you get one of each of our seasonings. You get 8 stainless steel hooks. They're 316 grade stainless. You get bars to hang the food from. Great for cedar plank salmon, burger, steak, things like that. And then you get a predetermined basket, and then you also get a shoe stand that we custom build for every barrel that actually sets itself off the deck, so it's not sitting right on the ground. And that's pretty much everything. The package, our packaging, we've put a lot of thought into, and it comes really well put together. And our service that we provide, like, it's 24/7, and we literally mean that. If you're grilling at 3:00 in the morning and you have a question, you can call us, and we'll be happy to talk with somebody.
At 3:00 in the morning, you're going to be happy to talk with somebody?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not. Don't call me at 3:00 in the morning. No,
we've actually had it, and it's funny. We had someone called to say, hey, we're just so impressed with the product. We thought we were going to leave a message. We didn't expect anybody to actually pick up, and that's the promise. We truly take customer service to another level.
Noah Glanville joining me here on the show. pitbarrelcooker.com if you want to check it out. All of that stuff you said is absolutely great, and I buy it and I believe it. But let me ask you to expound a little bit, hypothesize about the American public. Have we not become a public of lazy asses to where, I mean, look, I'm probably not going to try to attempt to build like a close offset or a gator pit or like a stumps cooker or some of these ones that, are crazy. Because obviously I'm not very handy. If anything, I might attempt an ugly drum smoker, but of course I'm going to buy it because I'm not handy. Is the American public kind of a little lazy, a little bit? They just want it done and they're going to buy it and they don't care.
Well,
I don't mean to put you in a bad way. I mean, we're just talking. Nobody's listening.
Oh, of course not. So, I think we could talk for hours about the American public.
Oof, could we? Hello?
It's a huge industry, and it's growing. It's not going anywhere. And I think every day, becomes more fun.
Oh, no, you're cutting out. Let me call you right back again. I apologize. We're cutting back out. Damn it. Who's going to talk ill of you people just like I did?
I'm back with you.
All right, sorry about that. Go ahead. The business is booming,
would you
right?
like me to leave the video off, Greg? Would that maybe make the connection better?
Yeah, we can try. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, back to the general public here. I think that like I said, the barbecue industry is growing. It's not going anywhere, and more and more people want to. They say that they want to start to smoke things, and they want to get into that, and it's complicated. They feel like there's a lot to it, and that's something that this product offers a unique experience because it's not a traditional smoker, and a lot of people like to call it that. It's really kind of a cross, I would say, between a barbecue and a smoker. It's a traditional pit, and the food that it produces a lot less time than a smoker, and a little faster than or longer, I would say, than a barbecue. So overall, I think that people want the easier way. A lot of people like the gas for a quick burger and a steak. There is a lot of people out there when they want to go all out, they want to entertain, and they want to do something special for guests or their family or even competition. We used 3 cookers that did a whole competition, did all 4 categories, and we've done it several times. So whether you're a beginner or you're an advanced barbecuer, either it caters to everybody.
Noah Glanville joining me here on the show. pitbarrelcooker.com is the website. Noah, before I let you go, got to ask you about this, and I got a little insider information, so I apologize, but I know a lot of people. It seems you might have done like this special celebrity cook for Stink and Terrell Davis from the Denver Broncos. How did you get into that?
Actually, what we did was we went down to it's a funny story. We went down to Ace Hardware for a promotion, and they had Terrell Davis and Mark Schlereth down there. And, Terrell Davis, he has his barbecue sauce, and then Mark Schlereth has an outstanding green chili. And they were signing autographs for people, and we were giving out free samples and promoting the pit barrel cooker. And at Ace Hardware, at the Mile High Ace Hardware in Colorado, sells the pit barrels. And Mark Schlereth came over. He came over there. All of a sudden, he gets up from signing autographs, walks over, and kind of cuts through and says, "Everyone's telling me how amazing these ribs are." And he says, I guess I better, he says, "What are these things?" And I said, "Well, they're pit barrel cookers, nice to meet you." And he says, "Well, I guess I better try one." So he tries one of these ribs, and just this shocked look on his face. He's looking at the pit barrel, he's looking at the rib, he's looking at me, and he goes, "This thing's unbelievable." And so he says, "Wow." He was really impressed, and he turns around and walks away. And about 10 minutes later, I thought, well, that was interesting. And then about 10 minutes later, he shows up with his chili on some nachos, and he says, "I want you to try my chili." And so I tried his chili, and I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a football player. What's he know about food? This is interesting. And to my surprise, hands down, best green chili I've ever had. So
really?
I said, we definitely need to talk. And we put his link on our website, and he's a big fan. He loves the pit barrel, and we're going to be doing a video probably in about a week about doing a pork tenderloin. We shot out a pork tenderloin with his chili on it. It makes it rain. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely fabulous. We're talking with Noah Glanville. Pitbarrelcooker.com is the website. Again, pitbarrelcooker.com. Go ahead and check it out. If you've always been looking for UDS, you don't want to make one yourself. By far, top of the line UDS out there right now. And again, it's pitbarrel.com. Noah, appreciate the time tonight. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Greg.
You got it. There he is. Noah Glanville. You tell me. You like pit barrels? You like... I've heard from a number of people, by the way, that love them, swear by them. Wouldn't mind one having myself. Look, I'm going to talk to you about a guy who is crazy in love with this industry of barbecue. Dave Bosker from Butcher Barbecue. 3 weeks ago, he gave away 3-year supplies of his own pork, beef, and prime injection. This guy is a kook, and by kook, I mean one of the best human beings on the face of the earth. ButcherBBQ.com. That's right, Neil. Neil knows. Here's the deal, right? You're looking for rubs, you're looking for sauces, you're looking for injections. Do you want to go to this site? Do you want to go to that site? Are you kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not? Fear not, my friends. When you go to ButcherBBQ.com, you can buy everything in one basket. And take it from me, but not only me, a number of pitmasters across all sanctioning bodies, that the stuff is top-notch. How about the rubs? How about the honey barbecue rub? How about the regular barbecue rub? How about the steak and brisket rub? How about that hickory smoked seasoned salt? How about that? How about my favorite sauce ever on the face of the earth when it's not me making my homemade sauce, that Butcher's Barbecue sweet competition sauce? It's fabulous. Look, if I'm getting rave reviews from my kids and my wife on a sauce that isn't my own, it's pretty good. You're going to want to buy 6. So we all know about the cheap shipping. We all know about the fact that you can buy the injections, you can buy the rubs, you can email Dave, you can trust him not only with your children, but with your life. Well, you can at least trust him when it comes to barbecue. I don't know about the other stuff. ButcherBBQ.com. And look, maybe you've bought injection from somebody else that, made your scores tumble. Doesn't get you the results you need at the competition or the props that you need at that community barbecuing or grilling event. Pack it up. Go to ButcherBBQ.com. Hit that return deal that he's got going on and ship it off to Dave. He'll weigh it when it comes in, and then in return, he will give you whatever the amount that you gave him back in the pork or the beef or the prime injection. These are products that have been time tested. They're true. People win with them. Dave wins with them. Dave wins a lot, by the way. So what are you waiting for? It's that return program going on right now. Nobody else is offering it. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. We're coming back with Scott Roberts right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, which happens to be the official PayPal address of the drive for $5,000. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. All right, joining me now, helping me close out the show, monthly contributor. We hate to do the whole I wasted money on sauces and rubs. Who is it? So to help us do that is the show expert of sauce and rub reviews, Scott Roberts from ScottRobertsWeb.com. Scott, how are you, buddy?
Absolutely wonderful. How are you, Greg?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous as well, Scott. Thanks for joining me and giving me the time as always. Scott, before we get into the three items that we have up for bid, what is going on with ScottRobertsWeb.com? And don't lie.
And don't lie.
Don't lie.
You know what? The blog posts are slowing down a little bit, but of course the podcast, the weekly Firecast, is going pretty strong. Haven't missed a week. I've been doing this. I believe it was my 14th episode. I just pushed out this past weekend.
14th episode.
14th episode. Yeah, is that a record? It's a record for me, at least.
You might be 330 behind me. That's all right. You only have 5 years to catch me. If I stop doing it now, you only.
I'll do it.
Yeah, if I stop today, you have 4 years to catch up to me. You can do it.
It's going to inspire me. I'm going to push all I can just to beat you. But you know what? I
don't try too hard.
You at your own game. You're the best at what you do. I mean, I kind of balance fiery foods and barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, my two loves. So I guess if you love a good compromise of the two, or like having your feet in both worlds, and, give me a listen at weeklyfirecast.com.
Absolutely. And I must say, as someone who, listens to barbecue and fiery food podcasts with a critical ear, look, I do it, right, once a week, and it's live, so I try and make sure that my diction is proper, that I'm not sounding like too much of an idiot, which some weeks is harder than others. You do have a very well-produced show, and you're having compelling interviews. So, fresh out of the box, 14 in, it seems to be going very well for you. And as long as you're enjoying it, I mean, that's what counts, right?
Oh, absolutely. You have to love it, or else it wouldn't be worth doing it.
Any news in the world of fiery food?
None at all. But next year there's going to be a whole slew. It's going to be a whole slew of fiery foods events, and I'm looking forward to trying some new ones.
What hot sauce do you have on the docket?
Oh crap! I have over 100 hot sauces on the docket. I am so behind when it comes to reviewing. The podcast is actually helping me because I get to review one, just talk about it for 5 minutes, and think, whew. That I don't have to write one. It won't take an hour and a half now. But of course, all sauces I try, I give them a fair shake. I judge them by everything, the texture and the label and how they perform with food. So it's not like I just taste something on a spoon, just spew something out and go about my business. No, a lot of behind the scenes work goes into it.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go. We have 3 items to look at tonight. We have what looks to be a sauce, we have a rub, and then like a sauce and a marinade. It's almost like 3 kind of different products. But we'll start with is it Besito? Besito Caliente Gourmet Sauce. What do we know about this?
Let me just preface this in saying all 3 of these products are really off the beaten path tonight. They're not your typical barbecue products, but the Besito Caliente Gourmet Sauce, is, and I've never been a big fan of really fruity barbecue sauces where whatever type of fruit is in there, apple or peach, what have you, where it dominates the flavor. The main flavor is blackberry in this. And I do have to say it's pretty damn good for what it is. It's fairly balanced. It's not something that straddles the line equally between sweetness and savoriness and spiciness, although there is a little habanero in it, but it's not too terribly hot. This excels with things like shrimp and chicken. Think more of your grilled meats and not things that you'd leave on a smoker. If you're looking for something with a sweet edge, this will do the trick.
And you're not necessarily a fan of the sweet stuff, so if it hits for you, it's all right.
To clarify, I'm not a fan of the, I guess, fruity barbecue sauces. When I eat, the types of sweet sauces I like are more of the hot sauces.
All right, so what are we looking at, price point wise, and where can you get it?
Okay, you can get a 15.5 ounce bottle. It's $9. You can get this at sweethots.com. They have all kinds of spicy products, and this is one of the sauces they have. It's fairly good. This would be somewhere between a backyard griller and a top 10 call. So it's about 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5. All right. So, is it one that you would search out, or if you ran across it in a store, or if you're feeling with a fruity edge, you might want to buy it?
Fruity when it comes to taste, not, personally.
Indeed.
Yeah, we won't go there. No, if you want something with a nice blackberry taste, give it a shot. It's definitely worth it, I think.
All right. Besito Caliente Gourmet Sauce, 15.5 ounces, $9, sweethots.com. Next item up for bid, it's the rub Todd's Dirt, Original Dirt. So kind of redundant, but, what are you going to do?
Exactly, yeah. This is probably one of the most herby and savory rubs I've ever had. And, just tasting it by itself, obviously you could really make some inaccurate predictions on how it's going to perform. I tasted it and I thought, oh, this is like Italian seasoning. And I really had some reservations, some big doubts as to whether or not this would perform on grilled or slow and smoked barbecue meat. When it comes to beef, of course, I love the savory stuff. I don't like things that are too terribly sweet.
No.
Beef, this is absolutely amazing. It's not up there with my very favorite when it comes to steak or brisket, but for what it is, it's just an outstanding flavor. And this is also something, I would use as like an all-purpose seasoning when it comes to vegetables too. Sprinkle on some corn, some steamed broccoli, some baked potatoes with onions. It's amazing and versatile when it comes to side items like that. So if you really want something with an herbal edge, things, jumping out at you like basil and oregano and rosemary, then give this one a shot. I really like it.
All right, so what are we looking at price point wise? Where can you get it? And then obviously the rating.
Okay, 2.75 ounce bottle for $5. It may be a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it. You can get it at toddsdirt.com. That's
all right.
Todd with 2 Ds. This one is definitely a top 10 call.
All right, top 10 call. Well worth the money. Todd's Dirt, that's plural, toddsdirt.com is where you want to go. Todd's Dirt, Original Dirt. And then the final items up for bid is the Chef Dean Martin's Asian barbecue sauce and marinade.
And another thing completely off the beaten path. Yeah, it is a barbecue sauce. But if you want something with a complete spicy and Asian edge to it, this is a fantastic sauce. This, I would say, is one of my probably 20 or 30 favorite sauces of all time. And that's saying a lot, considering how many sauces I've had in the past. Now, it looks like your typical barbecue sauce. It's sweet, it's tomatoey, but it really has some strong notes of ginger and garlic, and you can taste the pieces of that in there. But those pieces themselves are very mild and mellow and subdued. So it's not like you're chewing on a big, huge, stinky just outrageously nasty piece of garlic or ginger. It melds with the sauce absolutely wonderfully. And it kind of going back to the first product I mentioned, I think this is even better on grilled meats, your seafood, your shrimp, chicken, and of course on smoked meats as well. It's amazing on a slab of ribs as well. It's not something I would prefer to use all the time. But you know what? I have to keep a bottle in my refrigerator at all times. There's a couple times a year I just completely get the craving for this, and it's one of those things. It's like, oh, definitely worth it. I mean, you're sitting back, you overstuff yourself, you just want to eat more and more of it, and you cannot wait for 6 months down the line when you get to try it again. But just an amazing product.
It's something that you keep in your refrigerator all the time, though.
A bottle of it, yeah. I probably buy 1 or 2 bottles a year.
How long does it keep for?
You know what? A lot of sauces, and of course there's a whole different topic here.
Yeah.
Hot sauces we'll keep in the refrigerator for a couple years. Barbecue, I found, we'll keep in there for more than 6 months. And it's still just as good.
Is this something that you have just found with experience over time, or have you contacted manufacturers and say, how long do you shelf life if it's in a refrigerator versus, because you look at some stuff, it doesn't say has to be refrigerated after opening. Maybe there's a lot of vinegar in the particular sauce, so it's going to be able to just be set out on a table, and there's going to be a longer lifespan than you would some of these other sauces. How do you go about figuring that out?
Well, I have learned over time and just experience trying it with different products. And a really good rule of thumb is if it's got vinegar in it, it's going to stay good for a long time. If you refrigerate it, it will tend to stretch out the lifespan of any kind of sauce. Leave it out, on a table, room temperature in your cupboard cabinet. It won't stay as good as long. But on the flip side, if something has oil in it, if it has some type of a dairy product, you definitely want to keep it in the refrigerator, and it won't last that long. But this is one product. It has vinegar in it, has a very long lifespan, but it's phenomenal. I love this stuff.
All right, so what are we looking at price point-wise, and where can you get it?
Okay, you can get a good 16-ounce bottle for about $9-10. Really depends on where you can get it. And unfortunately, Chef Dean Martin, of course, is no relation to the late singer, Dean Martin.
Wait, hold on a second, Scott.
Yeah,
Dean Martin has been dead for like 40 freaking years. What's with the lexicon of the American speak when somebody has been dead for 40 years and you say the late? What is that?
I don't know. The dead?
I mean, he's dead.
Straightforward, yeah.
But I mean, the late Frank Sinatra. The late for me would have been like 2 weeks ago. Even Michael Jackson isn't the late Michael Jackson. He's just dead.
Well, if you invite him someplace, of course he's going to be late. He's going to be so late he's not going to show up.
Maybe that's what it is. Damn it. I've missed the joke all along. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, Chef Dean Martin, he is very untech savvy. Just to put it bluntly, he should get off his ass and create a real website for it. Myself and other, fans of the sauce have suggested to him, it's like you really need to sell this stuff online. I don't think he really gets it. Luckily, you could just go to Amazon.com, just do a search for Chef Dean Martin's Asian barbecue sauce, and you will find it there. Just kind of bypass that, you'll still get his, few pennies a bottle. So that's the best way of finding it anyway. Of course, this gets a Grand Champion rating for me. Just completely
Grand Champion rating. Holy moly, watch out. We only get like 2 or 3 of these a year. Wow, so this wins all over the place.
It does. It's something to seek out, even if it costs you an arm and a leg for shipping.
Wow. Well, for Grand Champion, I mean, what do you expect, right?
Well, exactly.
Well, good. All right. So here they are, by the way, if you want to check them out. Besito Caliente Gourmet Sauce, 15.5 ounces, $9. Sweethots.com. Todd's Dirt Original Dirt, 2.75 ounces for $5. Toddsdirt.com. And Chef Dean Martin's Asian barbecue sauce and marinade, grand champion, so highest rating. And I don't think we've had a grand champion for at least a couple months. So that's saying something. A 16-ounce bottle for just under $10, Amazon.com. And we're talking with Scott Roberts from ScottRobertsWeb.com. Scott, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out.
Well, thank you, Greg. It's always a pleasure.
You got it. There he is. Scott Roberts. Wow. Got to admit, I wasn't expecting a grand champion sauce rating. They're so few and far between. Chad, call into the show. Chad from Whiskey Bent Barbecue. Call in right now to the show. Not even kidding. Just do it now. We'll be done with it. Quickly. Chad, just hang on the line here for a second, Chad. If you've always wanted to get with the show in a partner type of way, this is the time to do it. Email me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, or visit the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. It's right there. And click under About the Show, and I think it says something about sponsors. See what it takes. It's inexpensive. Your target marketing to the exact people that you're catering to, the people in the barbecue and grilling industry. I'm going to do a quick interview with Chad Ward from Whiskey Bent Barbecue right after this.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Impromptu interview here, but I can't believe it. Earth-shattering statistical analysis and data. We race over to the hotline and grab host of Whiskey Bent Barbecue in the Pit, pitmaster of Whiskey Bent Barbecue, Chad Ward, joining me out of nowhere. Chad, how are you, buddy? Great. Is this a joke? Come on now. The internet cut out in France again. No! Chad. Chad. Chad? You there, buddy? What? Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. Evidently, the internets doesn't work too well in France.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I know Sam the cooking guy was talking about foie gras. Look, I don't like France that much. I got to be honest. No offense to the French people who hate Americans. You know, there's an old joke. How many gears do French tanks have? 3 in reverse, 1 forward in case they're attacked from behind. Hey-o! Chadley.
Hello, how you doing, buddy?
Here he is, Chadley Von Ward, host of Whiskey Bent Barbecue in the Pit, pitmaster of Whiskey Bent Barbecue. Chad, you just shared a bit of statistical analysis with me that is blowing my freaking mind like I can't believe. Look, I was having a little fun at your expense with the JV comment, but if you could, please share with people the statistical data that you happen to have on Whiskey Bent Barbecue in the Pit, please. Hold on, wait a sec. Hold on. Now share it. Tonight.
Great. Many thanks to great guests like Darian from Cosmos and Joe Beelan from Tippy Canoe.
Yeah.
We had 550 live listeners.
What? Are you kidding me?
It was one of those things that I was listening to Scott Roberts.
Yeah.
And I went and I pulled the numbers and I was like, nah, they may have carried a 0. let me refresh. And I'll tell you what, the listener numbers have been going up. And I would say with Scotty Johnson, which you're doing a great thing for right now with the with your fundraiser, and we're behind it 100%. But Scotty was our first 300 listener night.
Wow.
And since then, man, it's just kept building and building, and you get people like Joe on that are great interviews and great folks. But also just engage well with the public.
Yeah.
And it's a ton. And the nice thing is our download numbers will be great because we don't have the luxury like you got with Kevin when you went long with Marcus a week or two ago. You got to go long.
Yeah.
When we go long, we've got to put that last 30 minutes to podcast.
Yeah.
So me and Joe had a great 45 minutes live, but the 30 minutes on download over at iTunes or Blog Talk Radio, just go to the 2-hour mark if you already listened and listen to the next 30 minutes. We had an absolute blast.
Wow.
We talked a lot about sponsorships, a lot about, his year last year and what that means, and just a great guy, man. First time I had him on the air, and he was knocking it out of the park.
Wow. So 500 plus. So I guess the bottom line is this, and here's the question for Survey Tuesday. Do I need to go to Blog Talk Radio to get 550 listeners? Is the joke on me?
The joke will never be on you because you were the innovator. You were the guy. And it was like if you listen to the end of me and City talking, I said, if you get a chance to bust Craig's balls next week when you're on there, do it. And mention Whiskey Bent in the Pit. But because, and it's like I said there, and I've said it on shows before, me and you had a talk before I got into this thing because me and you have been friends before Barbecue Radio and
Correct.
be friends after Barbecue Radio.
Correct.
But you were the guy that, man, you have gotten me through many a transatlantic flight, many a domestic flight. I'm one of those guys that I think the few, the far between, even after I've had my own show, I've still listened to every show of the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Well,
I
appreciate you saying that, Chat, and I just wanted to have you on quickly to unveil that to the public. Super numbers I've never seen live, by the way, so jealousy precedes me, but you do a good show, and I think when you put the work in, you get the good guests, it obviously pays off, so congratulations to you, buddy.
Well, thank you, brother.
All right, continued success. Chad Ward, Whiskey Bent Barbecue in the Pit. Check out that show. That particular one, 500 listeners. What? Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Somebody who knows what's a lot and what's not, that's a lot. A lot. Good for him. Don't let my color fool you. We go back to the first hour and thank Sam Zion. Sam, the cooking guy, thecookingguy.com, thesamlivecast.com or his website. Noah Glanville, pitbarrelcooker.com. Scott Roberts, scottrobertsweb.com, and Chad Ward of Whiskey Bent Barbecue Impromptu. September 11, 2001. I will never forget until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.